nights and days like that Gail gave to us to create this chamber that has got a terrific membership. We do have money in the bank. We have the building paid off. We have, a great board. And I think one thing that may be a greater legacy than anything was the assembling of the staff that Gail has put together that we have now. And for that, I thank you so much. Now, it would be dishonest to me, though, to say that Gail and I have not had our moments from time to time. That said, when I was thinking about that, I thought about a passage in Proverbs. I think it's chapter 27, verse 12. It said, iron sharpens iron. And there is one that sharpens another. And Gail sharpened me, I'll say that. I may have dulled her, but I was sharpened by it. I think that going forward, I think Gail would be the first to tell us that she has built us a great legacy. And for us to just maintain would not be in Gail's vocabulary. Maintaining was never, it was advanced. And that's what we have to do as a chamber. We're going to have to pick it up from here. We've got a good staff, a good board, and we just need to pick it up from here and leverage off of the legacy that Gail has given us and be thankful for what we have. I mean, what else can I say? I want to read the mission of our chamber. The Central Fort Bend Chamber Alliance represents the area business community in the development of goals and programs that will bring about economic growth, constructive change, and improvement in the quality of life. Gail has done that in spades, and we're so thankful for it. Thank you, Gail.
Great job, Barry. Thank you. Gail, I think from what just Barry said, I think you need to consider moving to Washington and help get rid of that debt. Marvin Marcel, can you help us out here? I think you can handle that. All right, let's move on. Now I'm going to go ahead and move on to, can I have Tom Creighton of Thomas J. Creighton, CPA, LLC, and Vice Chairperson of the Chamber's Board of Directors, come up here. Tom has been a member of the board for 3 years and has worked closely with Gail on chamber finances and the chamber's mission. And Tom has done a great job helping me through this very busy year so far.
I'll tell you, it's helping over 50, the glasses. Well, last night I was trying to decide what I was going to say about Gail in 5 minutes or less. And so then I thought, well, what I could do is I could talk about 8 years ago when, like we mentioned before, when there wasn't any money in the bank. And Gail took it over, and 8 years later we paid off the bank loan. And we got enough money in the chamber bank to keep things going. So I could talk about her aptitude for raising money. As you know, if Gail calls you, you're probably going to give up some money. She's pretty good about that. She seems to know everybody in the area, even though she wasn't here originally. It's pretty amazing. I thought, well, I could talk about her ability to create lasting, highly successful events such as the golf tournament and the infrastructure conference and the gala. Maybe she didn't create them, all of them, but she kept them going. And every year, I was the treasurer for 3 years, and we look at the budget, and I guess a couple of years ago we began to talk about, this budget's going to begin to look a little frail for the next 2 years. And she said, we had a battle about 2 years ago on the budget. She was arguing for more, and I was arguing for less, and she won, of course. And then the next year we still make more money. I mean, we're not supposed to make more money because we're in a depression, so anyhow, she moves it on. And then I thought, well, I could talk about her tactfulness when needed. She's pretty good at that. And then I thought, well, let's see, I could talk about how well she speaks publicly. because if you, everybody's heard Gail speak, and if you said, come up here and take over right now, Gail would start talking without even thinking about it. She's a pro at public speaking. And then I thought, well, I can talk about how Gail can be so protective of the chamber at times when it comes to decision making. You can be. I thought, well, I could also talk about leadership class retreats, Gail and her karaoke skills, and then you've seen some pictures of it. There's a legacy for you. That's going to be part of the interview, by the way. And then I said, well, let's see, I could talk about her confidence and drive, and we've heard a little bit about that a few minutes ago. See, I'm still trying to think about things to talk about in 5 minutes or so. And then I thought, this was one sort of mentioned a while ago, I could think about answering her answering emails at 3:30 in the morning. And I'll tell you what happened a couple of years ago. I'm a CPA, and I was working till early in the morning. And it's 3 o'clock. I thought I could shut things down, and I'll shoot an email over to Gail. Came right back. It's like, what in the world? So the next day, I said, Gail, what are you doing up at 3 in the morning? She said, I do that all the time. That's amazing. And then I thought I could also talk about the trials and tribulations that she had with the staff, not this staff, but the staff over the few years, and the ultimate success that she's had with assembling the best cohesive staff this last year. And I'm very proud of her. I'm very proud of you. So I could talk about each one of these topics for an hour or more, but then I realized all I have to do is remind all of you of Gail's traits, and then you can fill in the blanks with your own memories. And I think that what makes Gail so special, she's created lasting quality memories for all of us over the past few years. Gail, we thank you profoundly for your tremendous service to the Chamber and the many businesses that have prospered because of your leadership you brought to the Chamber. Gail, we love you, and we're going to miss you.
I agree with Tom's last words. We love you, but we're not going to miss you because you're not going anywhere. May I please ask Tyler Nelson of Congressman Pete Olson's office, the United States House of Representatives, District 22, who will come up here and present a proclamation for Gail.
Gail, good evening. Unfortunately, Congressman Olson can't be here, so he's asked me to step in for him. And before I read part of this, I just want to personally thank you. It's been a privilege to work with. Anytime Congressman's office needs something, I call you, pick up the phone, and it's just been a very easy, smooth process to collaborate with you on various projects, and you will be missed in your position, but like you said earlier, you're not going anywhere, you'll still be around. Very grateful for that. I will read part of this, and then I'll give it to you. I don't want to read it all, but I'm going to read the better part of it. And this is in the congressional record. Gail is a consummate professional who cares deeply about the community she serves. The Central Fort Bend Chamber Alliance has been well served by her leadership and commitment to excellence. Throughout her tenure as CEO, Gail demonstrated the dedication and leadership necessary to advance the Chamber's mission and enlarge the scope of the organization. I'm honored to call her a friend, and I wish Gail and her husband Randy all my best. Eagles. Thank you.
Thank you, Tyler. Well said. It is now my honor to introduce somebody who doesn't need an introduction, Fort Bend County Judge Bob Hebert, who will also present a proclamation.
When I came in the door, I reminded Gail of something that was told to me by a man I respect very much, my father, several years ago. And he said that there's one thing that big retirement parties have in common with big funerals. I said, what's that, Dad? He said, well, generally up to 80% of the people that are there to make sure you're really gone. Secondly, I want to correct one of the technical errors earlier tonight. It wasn't really spoken, but it was left unspoken.
I'll be the first to admit that when Gail took over as president of this chamber, the chamber was in disarray and was a deficit, was in